the last time we spoke, it was very much the mode of just having to get from point A to point B. People are waiting for, food, medicine, essentials. And we figured out a system. It works. You guys have been such a great help with everything. And we've been getting your donations, and we're able to use those things for all the stuff that was necessary. But yes, when I got that call yesterday and I messaged all of you, where the most needed item is body bags, I think that I don't even care what is going on in the media about this right now. The only thing that I know is that at this point, we're trying to take care of the dead as well, to honor their lives by just being able to give them enough respect to hide their bodies, right, for their families. Sorry, TK, I can't not cry. So it has been a very tough 2 days, because no matter what's happening and whatever the information is out there, this is the reality of what's going on here on the ground, is that people are calling us about body bags, and people are calling us about the after pill, Plan B pills for women that have been raped, for children that have been raped, teenagers. Some of them are just 10 years old, doctors in Bucha are curing the wounded, and after they've looked at a soldier, they take in a little girl and make sure her wounds are taken care of, and then she's torn down there, a kid that should never have to live something like that. So it has been a very tough few days, and I feel so stupid complaining about it, saying this to you guys, when the reality of what is happening to the people over there is so much worse. So yeah, that's been what we've been doing, and we're individuals trying to sort stuff out. I didn't really even know where to begin to look for body bags. It's not like we have an org here that's gonna just write us these meds and we can just go and get them, right? Like, I think in the States and in the UK, at least, we can go to the pharmacy and just say, we need the Plan B, and they just give it. But here in Poland, you need a prescription. So we've been texting all day with everyone we know and saying, guys, can you please get a prescription, and then let's get as many of these pills over as we can. I can't even begin to think about the trauma the women and the children are going to be going through, not just living with the horror of war, but the abuse they've gone through. And, the unthinkable thing of, what if you have to give birth to a child that, this was the circumstance that you got the child in. So we're trying to do what we can right now.
Are you guys able to send these products into Ukraine, or do they have to get it in Poland or the other surrounding borders?
So I think we'll need to get the stuff over to Poland, and then the cars go from here into Ukraine. Because I don't think there's a way to send it straight there. But yeah, I mean, any of that will be helpful. I did want to add something though, because even though the last 2 days were really tough, today there was something really beautiful that did happen. And I think it's important that we also cherish those little nuggets of like positivity, because we received a whole truck of like 500 bedside cabinets for one of the refugee centers. And it might seem like a really silly thing. Like, people might be wondering, why do we need bedside cabinets, right? But it's such a beautiful symbol of giving someone ownership and privacy, because those bedside cabinets have a little key on them. So it's just such a like beautiful thing to be able to give people this little, cabinet where they can put the few belongings that they were able to take with them and give them a key, and they own something again. So that was really such a touching moment today. And we had to unload all of these things by hand because there was no way for us to get a forklift there. And we had these school kids that came on their PE break, 16, 17-year-old boys with their history teacher. And all of us were just unloading these cabinets. And it was just such a, like, on a selfish personal level, it was such a heartwarming moment for me to just feel like there's so much beauty in the world. And what we're all doing here, like every bit that we help, it's so encouraging, and just such a like beautiful juxtaposition against all the horror that's happening.
But we are very grateful. Whoever's watching this, if you have donate, we're grateful for Tongueout, Venetian, every single person who's done, help us with the donation, because of everyone right now able to help, Ola and her team to help those not just on the border, but directly in Ukraine. And she's been actually, her team has not just, I think Barbara asked, oh, are we getting it into people in Ukraine? Ola's team, there's volunteers, they're driving in this war zone, delivering goods to the army, to the people directly on the ground in Ukraine. So I'm very thankful for everyone.
So how are you guys doing over there, as you and your team and stuff like that?
I think in terms of people on the team, yeah, we have people coming and going. So it is really up to whatever everyone's availability is. But the people going into Ukraine is constant. People that are taking care of people at the reception points in Poland are constant. We constantly are sending things. But I do think, Jikim, you had a point there where I think people are feeling a bit more like this is kind of normal now. And the enthusiasm for help is definitely less, right? And it's kind of like weaning down. And before, everyone in Poland was able to deliver lots and lots of help. So you'd see a lot of individuals being able to, they'd go to the train station and see someone who needs help, and they'd say, come, let me go buy you some food. Let me take you in an Uber, like find you a place to sit. Like every individual was able to do a bit more. People don't have as much, right? And it's not like people in Poland are also like extremely wealthy and they can provide that much as individuals either. So I think any funds we're able to get right now from everywhere else is just so precious, because like you're saying, it allows us to continue doing this and continue helping. And because we've just covered like a tiny percentage of people that need help, right? And there's still so many people. And as the Russian forces are pulling out of some places, like Bucha right now, we're finding out what's happening, and those people, we're now able to get to them and help them. It's up to all of us, right, to do more and to do as much as we are able to. And yeah, I'm grateful for anyone that joins whenever they're able to join, and as well for all the donations we're able to get. But yeah, the help that we're able to get in Poland in terms of funds is very low. And that means all the reception points that, even though we're covering them, there was also loads of other people covering them as well, because if we were to cover all those points, just us all the time, we would have run out of funds probably in week one, right? Because there's just such a great number of people, refugees that need help. But now I'm getting more and more calls from people saying, no one's coming anymore. Like no one's coming to bring even the small bags of groceries. No one. So yeah, the need is growing, and hopefully we can keep doing more. So any donations are obviously really, really appreciated and helpful.
All the kids, where are they placement now? Are they being placed to a foster home, or are they just still there in an orphanage? Or
well, the kids are still at the orphanage. I wish some of them had already been, reconnected with their parents, or that the situation looked a bit different for them, but they're still there because the war is still ongoing. So the kids are still there, and we're still delivering goods to them. Yeah, I wish my update was, so much better than this, but the kids are still there, and they're still very much in need of whatever we're able to provide. And yeah, we bought some underwear yesterday, so we got 10,000 pairs of underwear for kids and women. So yeah, things that none of us really think about, right? Like when a war happens, you're only running away with the only pair of underwear that you've got on. So yeah, all these kids that we were helping before in the different orphanages, they're still very much in need of our help, and there's more kids coming now.
Currently in Poland, how long are you going to be there until, or what are the next few weeks are going to look like for you in terms of operations and getting everything made?
That's a great question. I don't know. I don't really know. My kind of day looks like I spend mornings up to afternoon sorting everything. Sometimes the things are cyclical, right? So we order things, we package things, we load them, they go away, they go out to the points where they need to be. And sometimes it's calls about emergencies like the ones yesterday. Sometimes it's specific needs that arise in that very moment. And then in the evenings, I do my actual job as well that I have outside. So I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'm trying to stay as long as possible. And also, I think it makes sense that we have a system in place where it just runs, and it is running. And that was a good test when I was back in London. I was able to run things remotely as well. And we had people here on the ground that were, making sure those deliveries are being made and making sure things were loaded up. And our invoices, a really boring thing to check, but making sure the invoices for things we ordered are intact, counting the things that we get, because we really respect every penny that we get, and we want to stretch it as far as possible for everyone, right? Because it means literally life or death for someone, right? So we want to make sure when we order things, we get everything intact. So that's been kind of running smoothly. I am working on something outside of this step, because if you look kind of at what's going on right now and the amount of people that's already here, I've spoken to a lot of people, and they obviously want to work, and they feel, almost, they definitely feel guilty and uncomfortable, right? Taking charity when they're capable humans that, they can work. So a lot of people are really eager to work, and they're looking for different ways to do that. And some of them are taking Polish courses. There's some organizations that are helping them translate their CVs, or things like that. And everyone's really eager to get back to things. So we're working on some plans now, talking to different organizations and then interviewing refugees to try and understand how can we facilitate the next step for the people that are already here, while we're still providing the help for the people that are still fleeing. So it's kind of a multi-layer thing that we're trying to do. So yeah, it's like long answer to your question is that there's a lot of moving parts, and I think we definitely need to look at that next step for people, because on the Maslow pyramid of needs, we started providing the basic needs for people for survival, right? Like where they can sleep, what they can eat, that the people that are here at least have survival kind of covered, right? And that's what all the donations have been going to. And also even for people there, like we're trying to make sure they can make it to the next day. But for the people here, I think we need to look to the next level, how to give them independence back so that they can do work and own their life again, right? Because I think that's the hard part. A lot of them are getting psychological help dealing with the PTSD of things, but a lot of them just want to work, and they want to be able to send money to their families that are back there still and unable to get out, or they want to be able to just support themselves here and not rely on someone else's charity, right? So we're in talks with them to try and figure out how we can do that next step with them as well.
Do you feel like women right now are having issues with feminine hygiene products or anything else that you feel like is things that we don't really think about? Because honestly, we're not in this situation, so it's really hard to think like, oh, just a simple lock has such a big meaning. Is there anything else that you feel that needs attention so that we can reach out to more people to kind of like give them like that sense of reality that those who are in Ukraine are facing right now?
Yeah, I think all of those items are needed. The first couple of weeks, we focused a lot on being able to provide that. Obviously, everything we got divided up so quickly. So yeah, that feminine hygiene products are very high on the list as well, and it's one of the main items that we get requested as well.
Is there a special list of needs that the refugee or that requested more, or do you go by the list, or do you just see what you can to provide them? Is that part of the system?
Yeah, we get specific lists from different places. So each place in Ukraine will differ for specific things. I mean, depending on if we're going there to the army or if we're going to civilians. Some places have more kids, some places have, mainly elderly, or some places maybe it's still really cold, so we still get requests for, blankets and things. But in some places the snow is thawing, and silly things that we don't think about, like allergy pills, right? People are getting horrible allergies in the middle of hiding in bomb shelters, but everyone's unable to breathe, right? So it really depends on each place, and we get those needs updated every few days. Whenever we prepare for ordering and for transport, we always ask, is there anything else we need to be adding to this list? Is there anything else that we need to be taking off of that? Yeah, for the army, we constantly get asked for walkie-talkies and for boots for men that are civilians that are joining, and the country is not able to provide them with anything, right? Or bulletproof vests, because they're just men. A lot of the men were not drafted. They've come here with their families and they've gone back, and women as well, right? We talked about this last time. Like,
sometimes it could be us, food, eggs, it could be shoes, it could be underwear, it could be, now we're looking at Plan B pills, like and I think that we're all kind of in shocks because every day it changes because there's still a war going on. And so at the end of the day, we all want to, like, okay, let's use our funds for meds, let's use our funds for food, but it is a war. Every day things change. So I feel for you, Am, and I know that you can't give us an exact answer what it's going to go for or what we're going to, because it can change, daily.
Because I text you every day about stuff and I ask you for the craziest things. Yeah, it is not things we ever expect to ask someone, right?
Honestly, I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. We're still able to do what we're doing and helping Ola, because of everyone. So honestly, thank you.